I'm Steven, that's John, and we are from Just Got Played, and we are counting down MrX's top 25 games of all time. So this is the seventh annual version of this list. If you want to know more about this list, you can go back and listen to the December 1st episode. But essentially, it's an aggregated list from everybody, and we have a top 25 that comes out of that. Today is December 4th, and we are talking about a game that is number 22 on the list. And this game is no stranger to the list. This game is Jamaica, which is from 2007. So it's a pretty old game at this point. But I will say that, like I said, it's no stranger to this list. Our first list in 2016, Jamaica was number 11. In 2017, it was number 24. In 2018, it got an honorable mention. In 2019, it was number 22. In 2020, it was number 19. It took a year off in 2021. I think a lot of us took a year off in 2021.
Can't blame it.
Yeah. And now here it is again, back at number 22. So Jamaica is an interesting, it's a racing game. It's a roll and move game. There's, a lot of sort of interesting takes on these mechanisms here. So everybody has a hand of cards, and these cards have a day and a night action. So that action might be filling up one of the cargo sections of your ship with a certain type of good, or it might be moving forward or backward or something like that. So whoever's turn it is rolls 2 dice and decides, and they're just D6s. So they just decide, maybe I'm going to put the 5 as the day action and the 3 as the night action. And then you choose which card that you want to play. So maybe you're like, ooh, I'd like to get 5 gold, right? So I'll play a card that has 5 gold, or a gold collection for the day where they put the 5 and whoever's turn it is, and maybe I'll move forward 3 with the other, right? So you don't have all your cards available, so you don't have every choice of every combination, or you only have certain things available at a certain time. And then that's how you move around the map. And the way the game ends is when somebody makes it all the way past the finish line, then depending on how far you've gotten, you get some points, and then you get points for gold that's in your cargo bays. Some of the interesting things that happen as you move around the map, you have to pay with some goods to get certain places, but also you can never really share a space with another player. So if you land on another player, you guys have to fight it out. So you're going to roll dice to fight, and you can use cannons, another resource, to sort of augment your power in that fight. And then when somebody loses a fight, they have to move back, and that might cause them to do another fight and have to move back more. And so it's got this sort of chaotic nature and battling to it. In 2017, 10 years after the original game was released, they released an expansion called The Crew. So there was a fairly boring action in the game called a port action, which is really just a cost for you to pay as you were moving around the map. But now the port action allows you to take one of these crew members and it does take up one of your cargo bays. But the crew members give you special abilities, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of stuff going there. So I do recommend playing with the Crew expansion if you have it available. But the base game itself is pretty solid. And that's why it keeps showing up on this list. So John, you've played Jamaica. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's actually, I was on the Dice Tower cruise and played Jamaica on the way to Jamaica, which kind of is one of the top strong suits, I think, in this game. Is the theme's really fun. You're driving around on ships, and you're sometimes battling, and there's times where you get the perfect roll, and you're like, that's great, So it's kind of a modern take on roll and move games, which still is a roll and move game. So you're going to have all the things associated with that. And then it kind of becomes risk at some point where you're rolling dice and fighting other people. So it's never a boring game. It's a very interesting game, a very thematic game, a little bit more luck heavy than I generally tend to prefer, but I can absolutely see why this keeps making the list, because it's a unique, fun dice chucking game where you're sailing, making money, and fighting other people. And I've even seen people cross the finish line and they didn't win because somebody else had a lot more gold and they were able to get more points to it. So I would like to try it with the Crew. I've never played it with that, but I've heard that that's a really solid expansion. And it's definitely a game that I would recommend picking up and giving a try.
Yeah, I also recommend it. This sort of falls in the space that works for my game group because it plays up to 6 players and it plays in like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So, it plays pretty quickly. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Everybody's engaged during every turn because you're you're deciding which card am I going to play to move. I mean, sure, somebody has to roll the dice and decide where to put those. And sure, there are battles where you're not involved, but during most of the game, you're involved in what's going on. So yeah, Jamaica, I give it a recommendation as well. It's in my top 100 games of all time if you want to go look in those videos and see where I ranked that. But anyway, I'm Steven. That's John. We're from Just Got Played, and I just want to tell you that this is a contest. So if you want to enter this monthly contest, this MrX's Top 25 Games of All Time contest, then just leave a comment in this YouTube video telling us what you think about Jamaica. Or if you don't think anything about Jamaica, tell me about your favorite Caribbean island. Why not? Just pick one. Tell me something about it. Tell me something fun. Tell me something I don't know. All right, but we're from Just Got Played, and thanks for watching.